What's good with y'all, man? Back with another video. Yahuah coming in with another, video saying, Yahuah, I'm really a firm believer, stand on his name. Everybody else say Jesus Christ. I'm gonna say Yahuah. Yahuah Brakabarawa. I'm gonna really say his name because it's really the name. Now that I know and what the church and indoctrination and what the church tell us, you got to almost read for yourself and do your own research. And I'm glad that I did my research about, Yahuah, that's who we supposed to really be, saying that's his real name, Yahuah, But I guess, there's so much happening with the church, and I feel like even people who are indoctrinated in the church still don't quite understand that, you gotta really do your research and not going by like Catholic or European or teachings or pretty much of how they changed his name. Some of the Bible, I just feel like Yahuah is the real King. Yahuah, Jesus Christ and Lord and all that other stuff is not his name. That's not what he go by. Yahuah. But just do your do more seeking for yourself, because I feel like a lot of people just misled and stuff. Until you do your own searching for yourself and research, then you'll find them, and then you can have a real connection with them, because now you actually know his name and you actually know the scriptures, like Hebrew bright, like the Hebrew Bible, and going off the Hebrew Bible, and you could get it in English and Hebrew, I think too, but like I feel like it's time to do our research more often as a people. I feel like as a people, we don't really do our research inside stuff, and I advise that for people who go into any religion, just do your research about it before you step into it. Like Yahuah, those are his real name. His real name. So that's what he really go by. I feel like a lot of Christians and everybody else just don't want to do their research, although they've probably been told before, but they probably don't care to learn or go off other stuff because what they've already been taught already in the church, that doctrine, the false doctrine of Jesus Christ and all this. They've been taught the wrong stuff. But Yahuah, Yahusha, that's his real name. We really gotta tell people more. I feel like people just miseducated too, and we all been at this point. I just recently found out, but it's for us to do our research anyway. And Yahuah don't go by religion. And Yahuah just wants you to have a relationship with him, get to know him, and read more of the scriptures about him. But so far as going to church, he don't need you to go to church. Yahuah is inside you already, And sometimes it can show through other people, and sometimes it doesn't, But Yahuah is all inside of us. We just gotta connect with him and find him, Just call on him in his name. And then we can really talk with him whenever we want to. Have a relationship with him. But, Yahuah, he's loving, he's kind, and, he sit and talk with you. But yeah, it's a little video, just saying, but, hope all y'all have a blessed day. Yahuah Brakabarawa.